boyfriend like the way it smells?
I don't have one. I keep telling you that.
Just trying.
Like, I just don't. Right. Like, it's not, like, if I didn't and I was like, I don't have a boyfriend, like, it'd be like, oh my God, like, you know I had a boyfriend. I, for real, like, don't have a boyfriend. I sit by myself and I watch Law and Order. I don't have, like, even kind of a boyfriend.
Not even kind?
I don't have someone that I'm texting that's a guy that might someday be my boyfriend.
Plenty of time.
You have to be okay with it because, like, if you're the girl that needs a boyfriend and then once she loses that boyfriend, needs to replace it with a different boyfriend, it's just this constant stream of boyfriends all the time. And I don't feel like I ever want to be that girl. I want to be the girl who, like, when she falls in love, it's like a big deal and it's a rare thing, I guess.
Good. That's good. Talk about your #1 hit, we are never, ever, 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 ever gonna get back together. Who's that about? Here's what I'll do. You don't have to say. I'm gonna show pictures. Here's a bell, and you ring it when.
Oh my God.
All right? We'll show pictures.
I don't know if I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, you will.
This is the one thing that I have. It's like the one shred of dignity that I have is I know that.
What do you mean one shred of dignity? You're just filled with dignity.
But people go and make guesses about it, and the only thing that I have is like that one card.
Ring.
Does your person also sing?
One of the things about writing music and the only way that I can actually be vulnerable with this many people is to never name names. So that's like the one thing I have where I want these songs to go out into the world and become whatever my fans want them to be. I want them to picture their ex-boyfriend, not mine. And I know there's going to be a media guessing game whenever I put out music, but that does not mean that I have to confirm or help them with it.
You're going to walk home with more than maybe just a trophy tonight. I think lots of men.
I'm not gonna walk home with any men tonight. I'm gonna go hang out with my friends, and then I go home to the cats.
No men allowed.
Men get me in trouble. I don't.
These media sites were just reveling in it. I mean, they loved it. Just like, look at the slideshow of Taylor's ex-men. And it was like, I'd look at that, you know, if you click on it, it drives you crazy because you're like, I don't even know half of them. And that was one time that we went to lunch and we were friends or whatever.
But how do you feel when people say that you write about boyfriends?
It's interesting because I think as a songwriter, you have your fans who have been keeping up with your music since before you were known. You know, my first album came out when I was 16. So I would write about my life as I saw it, as I felt it. And then what happens is, as you get more successful, which you're lucky if that happens, you have more and more people paying attention to what you're doing. And you've been doing it the same way your entire career as a songwriter, but all of a sudden the perspective has changed. And they use kind of you writing songs about your life as a way to play detective. And for me, I have a really strict personal policy that I never name names. And so anybody saying that a song is about a specific person is purely speculating.
How do you have the guts to continue to share what's happening in your personal life and share it with all of us to enjoy?
Well, the stakes are higher for sure because as your career goes like this, the magnifying glass goes like that. And everybody's like, oh, what are you doing today? Let's dissect it and talk about it and like come up with different ways that it could be awful, what you're doing right now. Sometimes, like, I try not to think about that part of my life, and especially when I'm writing, because if I sit there and think about, oh, well, if I write about this, you know, part of my life, then, you know, that's a negative emotion, and what if people delve into that, and what will they think? And you gotta close yourself off to everything around you when you're writing songs if you want to write from a truly personal space.
Truly.
You know, I'm 22, so that's kind of the age that most people are finding themselves and figuring things out and learning lessons the hard way. But I can't really learn lessons the hard way because if I make a mistake, it's like, news cycle for the next 6 months, Taylor made a mistake.
What's the one thing you wish you knew at 19?
If I could talk to my 19-year-old self, I'd just say, hey, you know, you're gonna date just like a normal 20-something should be allowed to, but you're going to be a national lightning rod for slut shaming.
And it's a big goal for me to continue to write about my personal life, even though I know as soon as I put the album out, there's going to be so much speculation on who's this about, what was it about, what was this, you know, and I think that as a songwriter, I just constantly want to stay vulnerable and stay open to things and stay attuned to what I'm actually feeling and how to translate that into song. Because I think that As a songwriter, you're supposed to stay open, and you're supposed to stay vulnerable, and you're supposed to feel pain and feel it intensely. As a celebrity, you're kind of encouraged to put up these emotional walls and block out all the voices saying terrible things about you and to you. And so they're mixed messages, and I'm trying to kind of like walk a tightrope in between the two. It's very interesting trying to navigate it.
If a guy shares his experience in writing, he's brave. If a woman shares her experience in writing, she's oversharing. And she's over-emotional, or she might be crazy, or watch out, she'll write a song about you.
Yeah, well, there is that.
But that joke is so old, and it's coming from a place of such sexism. When I tell people how happy I am to be alone and to be living my life on my own terms and to be free and independent and empowered, the first thing they say to me is, oh, don't worry, you'll find someone. And that is so not the point. What if your life completes itself? I wish people didn't look at me like I'm, like that's something sad, that you living your life is exciting enough for you and that you're not looking for anything else to complete you. I think that's actually the most beautiful place I've ever been in my life.
People who don't know me will sort of try and sum up my music and simplify it by saying like, oh, Taylor Swift just writes songs about boys and breakups. So like don't talk to her, bro, like she'll write a song about it. So that's my impression of like I don't know, like a lazy journalist. Anyway, I would like to kind of correct that statement and say that I write songs about things that I find to be romantic and magical. And to expand on that, I would like to say that I think so many things other than boys and breakups are romantic and magical. I think that loneliness can be romantic. I think walking through a city you've never been to before can be romantic. I think being on your own and being happy can be romantic.
And I don't think people understand how easy it is to infer that someone who's a female artist or a female in our industry is somehow doing something wrong by wanting love, wanting money, wanting success. Women are not allowed to want those things the way that men are allowed to want them.